Hello and welcome to the next campaign, which is going to be the Circle Undone, as you can tell. This one has an interesting introduction because you're actually not playing your investigators yet. In fact, it tells you not even build or pick your investigators yet. We actually start out playing a prologue using 4 different characters. Depending on how many playing, it could just be 1 or 2. I randomly chosen, and we got Valentino Rivas and Jerome Davis. Now, so for this scenario, we're always going to lose, and you're probably looking at the screen. It's like, what the heck is this thing right here? Well, that is from the Bloodborne board game, and it's Murgo's Wet Nurse, or the Succubus, and it's like nice and cloth, and it's supposed to be this spectral watcher who shows up constantly throughout this campaign. Now, I only played up through half of this campaign. I said last time up to the Wages of Sin, but actually that's not true. I played up to For the Greater Good, but not all the way through it. So, the thing is, these special characters that we're playing have their own cards that you set out, which I did, and they also have their own where you set them up. So he starts here, and he starts out with this Nether Mist, which is why it is attached to him. He's also have Obscure and Fog here. Valentino gets a Spectral Hound and Terror in the Night, which basically if we get 3 of them, we all get hit by 3 horror. So let's go ahead and start the introductions using this app. And there's a lot of dialogue, a lot. So good thing I'm not the one actually talking.
The Circle Undone. Prologue. Scenario 0. Disappearance at the Twilight Estate. Sunday, November 22nd, 1925, Arkham, Massachusetts. Though All Hallows Eve is nearly a month past, a grim melancholy lingers throughout the town. Each morning, a thick fog permeates the streets. Nights are beginning to grow longer, and if you ask around town, you'll hear people swear it's getting darker too. But despite the gloomy mood, progress continues in the sleepy town of Arkham. The election of Nathaniel Rhodes to the United States Senate has upstanding members of the community feeling optimistic about the town's future. And tonight, at his well-appointed estate in French Hill, a man named Joseph Major hosts the Silver Twilight Lodge's Charity Gala, an annual members-only event that will turn deadly for several attendees. Each player must choose one of the following neutral investigators to control for the duration of this prologue: Gabriela Misra, Jerome Davids, Penny White, or Valentino Rivas. Throughout this prologue, you will play through this character's story and make choices that will determine his or her fate. Your choice of investigator has no direct effect on your standard investigator deck, though the results of the prologue will influence the story. Do not assemble an investigator deck for any neutral investigator. Instead, gather the cards listed on its reverse side. These cards will be used in that investigator's unique setup. All listed cards are level 0 unless otherwise noted. If there are 3 or fewer players in the campaign, in the Missing Persons section of your campaign log, cross off the profiles of any neutral investigators who were not chosen. Proceed to intro.
So, do I have that on my log to cross them out? Not really. But I'll worry about that another time. We know who we got. Alright. How many players? 2. We have Jerome Davids, Valentino Rivas. No, okay. Also, a lot of people play this over and over. Usually it's randomized. With the Circle Undone, you can actually use these tarot decks to actually see what happens to them. But we're not going to use it. We're also going to use the tarot deck for the campaign, which we'll do at the end of this scenario. This scenario, you don't use these for side scenarios, which this is. No. Okay, here we go.
Ladies and gentlemen, Joseph Major announces, raising a glass of champagne and a toast. A hush descends on the room until only the crackle of the fireplace and the whispers of gossip can be heard. Allow me to welcome you all into my home for this year's charity gala. We have some very upstanding citizens here tonight, and I thank you all for your hard work and generosity. Cheers and murmurs of agreement fill the room. Many of the guests raise their glasses to Valentino, one of the most esteemed members of the lodge this year, who sits at the guest of honor table, which is nearest to the fireplace. Yosef's assistant, Jerome, blends into the wall behind Yosef, discreetly checking his pocket watch. In another corner of the room, the head housekeeper, Penny, walks from table to table, filling empty glasses and collecting dirty salad plates. Each of you has done great deeds in the name of the Silver Twilight Lodge in our historic city, Yosef continues. Next year, we will continue to shoulder this burden and do what must be done for the sake of progress. Jerome leans forward quietly, interrupting Yosef's speech with the unassuming confidence that comes from years of trusted service. He taps Yosef lightly on the shoulder and shows him the time. I'm afraid I'm already out of time. Thank you all very much for attending, Yosef concludes, bowing. Polite applause rises from the audience, and Yosef walks briskly toward the parlor, followed closely by his assistant. Two servants collect coats as latecomers trickle into the manor, and Gabriella, Yosef's head of security, watches over the entrance with hard eyes and a clenched jaw. Has Mr. Sanford arrived? Yosef asks curtly, tapping his polished leather shoe on the floor. I'm afraid not, Jerome replies, flipping through the last pages of the estate's guest book. He should be here any minute, Mr. Major. Good, I want there to be no problem whatsoever when he arrives. Am I understood? Yosef calls out to Gabriella. Make sure he is well protected. Gabriella nods, patting the handle of her .45 in her shoulder holster. Yosef turns his attention back to his assistant. And have Penny make sure that the main course is kept good and hot while we wait for Mr. Sanford's arrival. Not a single slice is to be served without his presence. Not even for Mr. Rivas, sir, Jerome asks, glancing at Yosef over the rim of his thick glasses. Yosef pauses for a moment, considering. Pour Mr. Rivas another glass of champagne, and I'm sure he will not complain. Also, I'm still waiting on those accounts I asked you about earlier today. Don't forget, Yosef says, clapping his assistant on the shoulder before walking back into the banquet hall. Jerome nods obediently and heads upstairs. Soon after, the mist would appear, and nothing would be the same. One at a time, each player must proceed to the intro for their chosen character and read that section aloud. Or just listen. Do not read or listen any intro for a character that was not chosen by a player. Once each player has heard his or her character's intro read, proceed to set up.
That's...
Jerome intro. You carefully flip through the pages of Mr. Major's ledger, looking for the accounts he inquired about. You have served Mr. Major faithfully for almost a decade, and he trusts you with sensitive information like this. A point of pride for you. While you are often curious about your employer's business, you have never pried into his personal matters. Not until tonight, anyway. You adjust your glasses and lean forward as you turn to the page regarding Mr. Major's request. Some of the names on the list you recognize. Rivas, Gensler, Fairmont, Rhodes, Wick. But there are other names you've never heard of before, let alone seen affiliated with Mr. Major's work. Lindquist, Konstantinov, Magro, Atkinson, Lamar. Just how deep do Mr. Major's connections go? Strange as that may seem, it is the list of names on the page afterward that raises your hackles. While it was clear that the names on the previous page are associates of Mr. Major's, or at least prominent members of the lodge, you can only assume that this next series of names is of people your employer is targeting. For what, you cannot say. You stand next to Yosef's desk and record the list in your pocket journal carefully, making sure to keep the names in the exact order they appear in Mr. Major's ledger. You hope that your suspicion is nothing more than the absurd imagination of an overworked secretary. Still, something about all of this has you concerned. That, and the sudden draft of frigid air that is somehow wafted into the room, your gaze naturally shifts to the window, at which point you scream out in shock and lose your balance, stumbling back onto Mr. Major's desk. Pressed up against the office window is a host of screaming faces emerging from the mist, or perhaps composed of it. Their ghostly hands press against the glass, their hollow eyes empty. Your reading glasses clatter to the ground and shatter under your heel as you scramble to the other side of the office. You don't realize that you dropped your pocket journal in the chaos until it's too late. Valentino intro. Are you gonna break, or are you just gonna sit there admiring the cue ball all night? You ask with a mocking smile. Your opponent sets the ivory ball back on the table with a sigh. I can't help myself around ivory. You know that, Tino, Adam replies. You rarely see Adam Gensler except during lodge functions, but you prefer his company to that of the stuffy business types who make up most of the lodge these days. He makes his shot, the sudden clattering interrupting the din of conversation. Your shot, Tino. And do try to avoid hitting the 9-ball first. You're always so overeager. Adam chuckles as he moves to the other side of the table, making way for you. That was one time, my friend, one time. You roll your eyes. Truth be told, you've enjoyed coming to these events for the opportunity to give back to the community, not to hobnob with Arkham's gentry. But hobnobbing has had its perks. You lean over the table and clear your mind as you line up your shot. The room falls silent as you block out the clamor and the music, focusing all of your attention on the cue ball in the corner pocket. You hold your breath and strike the cue ball. It clacks as it hits its target, and the one ball drops effortlessly into the corner pocket. There, you see? It is only then that you realize the silence around you is not just in your mind. All of the light and warmth has been sucked out of the room. Adam is gone, along with everyone else who was present just moments before you took your shot. Hello? You call out. A dark mist coils about your ankles as you walk around the billiards table. If this is a practical joke of some kind, it's in awfully poor taste, you remark. The only response is the deep growl that emerges from beneath the table. Morbid curiosity compels you to look underneath it, at which point a dark hound pounces onto your chest, savagely clawing your torso. You react instinctively, pushing it off your body as hard as you can. It lands on the billiards table, causing it to collapse under the creature's weight. You slowly back up as the creature rises to its feet once again and jumps off the broken table, its hollow eyes gazing into your soul.
Yep, that was quite a lot. So, encounter card errata. What the heck is that? Okay. Nothing that we have to deal about. Alright, so now we play Arkham Horror. Quite differently this time, because we start out with already stuff on the board. So, who do we want to go first? So we have Valentino, who has a Spectral Hound on him. Jerome Davis has this Nether Mist on him. It's an aloof though, actually, so it stays right here. But it attacks us, but he gains Haunted. Haunted is a new trait for this. Basically, when you fail an investigation, you get Haunted. So basically, if he fails an investigation, Nether Mist attacks. So that's interesting. So let's go ahead and start with Valentino, but let's go ahead and flip these areas over. Don't have to worry about victory, because there is going to be no victory. Oh, and is that Silas? Alright, 1 second, I'll be right back. And we're back. Okay. So, there's no way of winning. He's here, and there's 4 clues on here. So, let's go ahead and read the agenda. Judgment, 20. There's no escape fate. Hear the call and be reborn. Force. After doom is placed on any card, each investigator must either take 1 damage or 1 horror. 2 damage or 2 horror unless if there is 5 or more doom in play. When any investigator is defeated, that investigator must advance this agenda. Do not remove any doom from this agenda when it advances. Okay. And let's go ahead and look at the act, the disappearance. Something terrible has invaded the home of Joseph Meeker. The moments that follow, you scramble to survive. One investigator is eliminated. Place each of the investigator clues on this act instead of his or her location. Objective: discover as many clues as you can before your inevitable demise. Alright, so Valentino's has 10 resource. He can reduce any difficulty by 1 by paying 2. Alright, so let's see the Spectral Hound. How can we deal with this? So if it attacks, he only has 1, so we can evade him pretty easily. So, I think that's what we're going to do. We're going to evade, And we're going to not do well connected, but we're gonna commit opportunist. He has 4 foot against its 1, so we're up by 5. Zero. So opportunist, if you succeed by 3 or more, return that to your hand. So it goes away, and he is currently. Now he has 2 more actions, and let's go ahead and put the music in before I forget. Okay, so there's 2 clues on here. I could go to the trophy room. Maybe I should try to get 1 here and 1 there. Because otherwise I'm just going to have to evade him again. So let's just go ahead and get 1 clue. We're going to use our opportunist again. So we're only up by 1. If I use this, and then we'll use well connected, get +1 for every 5 resources, because he has 10 resources, gets +2, so he's a 5 at 6. He's up by 3. Okay. We're up by 3. He's like gonna look around after he invaded it. Like, what the heck's going on? Oh, and this is on easy, by the way. Auto succeed. +1 and gain 2 resources. Oh, well, that's nice. Well, not auto succeed, elder sign. So he gains 1. Opportunity goes back up. Now, he's gonna go ahead and move to the trophy room. Let's see. Okay, so this is also just 2. That's the last of his actions. Alright, that's not so bad. Now for you, Jerome Davis. How do we want to do this? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. He has 10 cards. Okay, curiosity. We have 7 more cards. So we're going to play Magnify him. This is fast. You can just put it down for free. Gets +1 investigate. And so he gets a 5. Oh, I'm right over that. So he's at a 4 plus this is a 6. Woo! Now I could bring out my fingerprint kit and try to grab both of them, which I kind of want to do, but connect the dots. It's like, if I use connect the dots, I still need 1. I need to get everything on there. Alright. Let's see, how do I want to do this? Well, he is going to move to here. There's a lot of things up on here. Okay. I think we need to get these clues up here. That fingerprint costs 4, actually. That may not be a good idea. Spend 1 action. Get a clue. I don't have 1 action. The next time I can get all 4. Okay, I think we're gonna do that. Spend 1. Again 1. Spend 1 action to put down fingerprint kit. And there's 3 supplies on here. Basically a +1 if I use it, I get to discover an additional clue. So, I have 1 action left. And we're going to investigate. Spend 1. So he's at 6. At 6. Go ahead and play Curiosity. If you have, well, you have 7 more cards. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Gains 3. So we're up by 3. So let's go ahead and do that. And if anytime you get discarded, it goes out of the game. So we're up by 3. We got a +1. Alright. So we gain 2 clues. And that's the end of his turn. Monster's turn. The Shadow Hound is just... Well, he doesn't get back up. Spectral Hunter. Alert and Hunter. He's going to move over here. Excuse me. Alright. Nether Mist is just going to be there. So he's just going to still be right here. Oh, and the Obscure and Fog is gone because we investigated it successfully. So that's good. Alright, so upkeep phase. Everyone gets 1. 1. They don't have any cards to draw. Alright. Doom gets placed. After 1 Doom, take 1 damage or 1 horror. So we'll give 1 horror to Jerome and 1 horror to Valentino. Really? 1 or? Okay. Alright, so how do we want to do this? He's going to hunt with the person with the most clues. Oh, and the dog's back up. So, and this gets unexhausted. Let's see, how do we want to do this? I think it's best we try to connect the dots to get over here. Use barricade. But he's not going to stop him. So I think it's best. Let's actually start with Valentino. He's going to move right over here and be engaged with the Spectral Watcher. We did it right up against the other card. Alright. And this goes over. No clues. Absolutely 0 clues here. So he's going to evade, do well connected, and definitely do our opportunist. So we're against his 3. He also has alert, so if we don't make it, he will attack us. So this gives a +2, so he's at 6. We're at 7. So we're up by 4. I think we're fine, actually. Yeah. So we're up by 4. I could also reduce it, but I think we're fine. 0. Alright, so Opportunist does go back in our hand. Man, Valentino's so good. Goes down here, he's invaded, and he's going to move over here. 2 clue tokens. And that's the end of his turn. And that's fine. That's fine by me. Alright, Genome, let's do this. Okay, we want to get at least a lot of things. I'm going to try to get connected dots with this, but I can't do it this turn. But what else can I do? Well, we're just going to use our 3 actions. Or 2 actions, and do we put anything else down? No. Just 3 actions put down there. Alright. So, that's the end of his turn. We all gain 1, 1. Well, he moves up more, he just stays there, and he gets back up. Alright. Let's go put him right here. Alright, so, 1. I forgot to draw cards in their turn. Shit. So, Genome, test 4. We don't want to lose that. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. We're going to commit Curiosity, but 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I think we lose one because technically we have 6 cards because we just used Curiosity. And then Barricade. He has low will, unfortunately. Not that good. So, it's 2, 3, 5. So we're up by 1. Alright, 0. So we lose those, but this goes away. And for you, you get Trapped Spirits. Test 3 foot. If you fail, you take 1 damage. If you're located, you must keep 1 of our cards, or she must take 1. So that's not bad. So we'll do Opportunist once again for Valentino. And this is one before, not this one. Because I completely screwed that up. So we're up by 2. Minus 3. So we actually failed that one. And that means Opportunist goes away, which means we couldn't do that, but we're still up by 1. So for each point you fail, that was, I have 5, so I take 1 damage. Your location is haunted, which it was. As an additional cost for you to commit 1 or more cards to the skill test, you must resolve each haunted. If your location is haunted, as an additional cost for the investigating. Okay, so lose 2 resources for each resources. Okay, so you lost 2 resources. Alright, now it's this turn. We get 1 up here. Jerome, you get 1 horror, and Valentino, you get 1 horror. Alright, Genome, you get Spectral Hound. Another one, which isn't good at all. Can I do anything to stop that? No, I can't. And Valentino, Realm of Torment. When your turn begins, basically put 1 clue. Oh, I lose a clue. Well, that sucks. Let's start with Jerome first. So we have a Spectral Hound we have to get rid of. Let's go ahead and play Mind Over Matter. Fast. Play on your turn. Up to the end of the round, you may use your will in place of your... So we're up by 3, and we're going to evade them. Get +1. Alright, so this Spectral Hound is evaded. That's one of his actions. Then I could either use Deduction or Fingerprint Kit. Which one do I want to play? And it costs 1 to play. I mean, either way. So we'll play Deduction. We have +1, so 5, 6, against its 4. And we're going to commit, working on a hunch. See, I'm already up by, so how many do I have? 4, 5, so we're up by 2, so we only want to be up by 1. So we'll commit Hyper Awareness. And we get, oh! Oh, I should have did that card. Oh well. His special ability. Discover 1 clue at your location. Well, you already discovered all the clues. And that means we're going to play Connect the Dots. Discover 2 clues at another location. Which is probably going to be this. And there's going to be another one that's going to drop. So, let's go ahead. Take these 2. Alright. He has 1 more turn. And literally, I don't think he's gonna know what to do with it. If I move, the Spectral Watcher will go right at him. I guess just gonna gain 1 and hopefully have him move. Well, he can't move. So he's going to come up anyway. Alright. He can't draw a card, so he's kind of stuck there in a bad place. But he got plenty of clues for what he did. So, 1, 2, 3, 6 clues. Alright, Valentino, because of your Realm of Terror, resolve each haunted ability on your location. Place one of your clues in the master bedroom. He just lost the clue he got. Let's go back up. Alright. So, let's go ahead and try to get this clue. We are going to... We'll be at 0. It'll be +2 if we did that. So, let's go ahead and use our well connected. We're at +2. -1. Alright, so we pass. Got our clue back. 2. Moves 1. 2 clues over here. That ain't bad. Go ahead. You're up by 2 again. May as well just... But then again, I mean, I have all these cards, but they're... Do I really want to play them? I feel like I need to use them later. I feel so safe with Valentino. Let's go ahead. -3. So we failed. Alright. So, Monster's turn. He's going to come up right to Jerome and attacks him for 1 sanity and 1 horror. Or 1 sanity and 1... And this guy moves, and this guy gets back up, but he goes right and engage with him. Alright. So, Jerome, Obscure and Fog. Doesn't matter. Valentino, Whispers in the Dark. Oh, test 3. If you succeed this at the end of your turn, test 3. Let's get through that. Instead of the type indicated for this test, this is a resource. Your base skill value is equal to half the number of resources. So I have 5 resources. I have 9, 10, 11, 12. So I'll be at 6 if I commit Money Talks. So we'll do that. Commit Money Talks at 6. So we're up by 3 against this Realm of Torment. +1. Alright, so that Realm of Torment went away. Alright, then he gets Whispers in the Dark. Into the Dark, next to the agenda deck. Each location gets Haunter, take 1. And then, alright. Jerome, I don't think it's good for you. So we're going to start with Valentino to get these. So, he's just going to go... Go ahead and try to get this. He's up by 2, just he's well connected. Boom, he gets 1. And he's still up by 2. -1. We got it. Alright. Whose turn is it next? Jerome, good luck. Well, I can still move. I think what we're going to do is go ahead and move here. Jerome, your turn. The Hound only has 1, so we're going to evade the Hound first. Is that 2? We get a 0. So, the Hound has been evaded. Now the Spectral Watcher, which we don't have any way of stopping. So we're at 0. -3. And he is alert, so he attacks us for 1, 1. Last action. We're going to try to evade the Watcher. We don't evade him, Jerome's dead. -3, yep. So even though he still gets hit, is still alive, it's going to be the monster's turn. He's going to come over to Valentino, who he hunts actually below us. So he actually comes up here. Comes up here and attacks Jerome first. And that alone does 1 damage. Yeah, that kills Jerome. So, when an investigator is defeated, that must advance this agenda. Do not remove Doom. Do I forget to put Doom in before? I don't remember. Shit. Oh well, I'm not worried about it. So, if the missing persons section of the log next to your profile, make a record of the fate. Defeated by the Spectral Watcher's attack. Defeated by a monster's enemy's attack. Which was a monster. So, Jerome... Let's see. Jerome... Where's the card? There it is. Was claimed by specters. If there were 7 more undead in play, you were defeated by the horror or damage by the force abilities in Agenda 1A. Record that disappeared in the mist. Alright, so. Alright. So that means this guy comes over here, and this guy moves down here. And this guy gets back up. When an investigator is eliminated, please keep that investigators on this. Alright. Alright, Valentino. It's your turn. Well, you gain 1. Put 1 doom. You get attacked. Let's see. Let's give you sanity. Keep you alive. And then you get trapped spirits. Once again. If I commit a card, I have to lose one of my clues. I'm not doing that. We're up by 1. And this is actually up, so we could use that, but I think we need to use that to evade. Skull, -3. That wasn't. Sure. Take 1 damage. So, 6, we take 2 damage. 1, 2. Alright. His turn. First action. He's going to move. Spectral Watcher will be right at him. Let's put it right here. And then we're going to evade him. Gonna hit that evade barber. So, 1, 2, 3, 6, 10, 13. So we'll be up by 2, 6. Yeah, we're up by 3. So we're in a good split space for evading him. Ooh! Gain +2 resources. That's going to be helpful. He's evaded. On here. Jerome, you're dead. Alright. Next action, going to move over here. Try to get all these clues up, baby. We need to get them. So we're at 3. We're up by 1. So we're going to play Cunning. Get 5 more resources. While you have 10 or more, get that. So we get 3. 3, so we're up 6. So we're up by 4. Oop, gotta put this back. I haven't seen the autofail yet. And this gets discarded. -1. Alright. We gained 1 clue, and that was the rest of his turn. Alright. Monster's turn. These guys are both up. And they're both going to come here. This guy's going to move over, not do anything. And the Spectral Watcher will get back up. 1 Doom is placed. And we get 1 damage or 1 horror. Let's get a horror. Okay. So, he gets Fate of All Fools. There's no... So, he gets this in the start area. So that's going to generate more Doom. Alright. He's going to get... Let's go ahead and... So we're up by 9, 12, 15. This will give us +3. We can use this. So he's at +4. Actually, no. Let's not use that. Let's use Cunning again for this. Get this clue. -2. So we're at 4. We definitely pass. Get that clue. That's 1 action. The next action, he's going to move. I mean, this thing hasn't really doing much. It's just there for if I fail if I fail a test, investigation test. They're all right here. All right, so we're gonna go ahead and do this, and then well connected. So we're up by 3. So yep, we're up by 3. Got it. It's the last of his turn. Spectral Watcher is going to come. Spectral Hounds are going to come. Gain 1 resource. Let's back up. 1 Doom. And he gets 1 more Horror. Okay, so how do we want to do this? And we get to draw a card. Test for will. Put it into play next to the agenda that if you fail by 3 or more, gain surge. If there's 3 copies next to the agenda, take 3 horror. We don't want that. We don't want that at all. Okay. We're gonna do Money Talks. Actually, we're at 1. Oh, we're at 1. We want to do Money Talks. So, half down. So we have 9, 12, 13, 14, 15, 16 resources. So we have 8. We're at 8. We're up by 4. That's amazing. So yeah, we still beat it. Woohoo! Alright. Now, what you gonna do, buddy? Who can we who can hit us? So, first off, we're gonna move to the move. That means every single one is on us. How do we want to deal with this? We're gonna have to evade as best we can. So, I think I just need to take 1 damage. Yeah. So let's do Spectral Watcher first. Let's do Well Connected. So every 5 resources. So we're at 9, 12, 13, 14, 15. So we're +3. We're at 7. We're up by 4. +1. He's evaded. Then we're going to do one of the dogs naturally. We're already up by 3. First dog. Auto fail. Hunter retaliate. Nope, it does not have a hunter or retaliate. The hunter was going to come up. Alright, so enemy's turn. These 2 attack. And it's going to be just enough to kill us. I was kind of hoping to have a different fate, but I have the same fate as Jerome, just to see what the difference is, because I haven't got far enough to know if it did or anything. So, all these clues goes to the disappearance. Alright, flip this card over. Was claimed by Spectres 2. Valentino was claimed by Spectres. Either way, we got a lot of clues from that. A lot of clues. If you're defeated by other effects, if there are 7 or more demon play while this gen to advance. Okay. So, that was the end of the game. Ugh. Who was eliminated? Everyone was eliminated. What happened to Valentino? Claimed by Spectres. Who was eliminated? Jerome. What happened to Jerome? Claimed by Spectres as well. Are you being haunted? Hunted? No. So here's a kind of a cool thing. So you can never flip this because it's impossible to flip. When I first played this, I never flipped it because I never won and I put it all away. Well, apparently I like to listen to podcasts, and one of them say, "Hey, did you actually flip and look at this card? Because if you do, you get to be hunted." So it actually affects you outside of the game, which is interesting. So we're gonna play like didn't play it before, like how I played it before, and I didn't look at it. So I have no idea what happens if you were get hunted. Next time we'll play, we'll definitely flip it over, and that would be the return to. And to be honest, that would be the last time I play this scenario, because with the new one, we don't have to play this scenario at all. But I do want to play with what's her face, these other two, Penny and whoever the girl's name, I can't see it from here, but yeah. So we're not being hunted. Alright, so let's go ahead, pause the music, and play.
No resolution was reached because each investigator was defeated. Mr. Sanford, thank you so much for coming. I know you're a busy man. Your presence at tonight's meeting is very much appreciated. Yosef shakes Carl Sanford's hand firmly as he speaks. Sanford merely nods. I know you've only just arrived, but I have some private matters to discuss with you, if that's all right. Yosef continues, his narrow eyes shifting back and forth between the men flanking Sanford. Very well. The elderly man nods to his two enforcers, who step back to give him privacy. He cradles his hands behind his back, his stature impressive for his age. His discerning eyes fall on Yosef. What is the matter? Yosef leans closer. It's here, sir. It's here in this very house. There's a quiet pause between the two men, and then Carl Sanford smiles. No experience is earned for this prologue. In your campaign log, record X pieces of evidence were left behind. X is the total number of clues on Act 1A, the Disappearance. Return each of the player cards used in this scenario to the collection. Each player chooses an investigator from the standard pool of investigators and assembles his or her investigator deck as usual. Proceed to Scenario 1, the Witching Hour.
Alright, so how many clues do we get? So we get 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. Put 12 on here. And 12 on here. Let's just go. Alright. So, that was the Disappearance. What's it called? Disappearance at the Twilight Estate. So, I guess I'll see you guys next time for the first real scenario. Actually, no, wait. I forgot to do this. And that's what we're going to do first. Alright. Everyone back. Okay, let's read the Return to campaign to figure out how exactly we do this. If I can find where I put it. Oh, there it is. Okay. Okay. Campaign reading. Before starting the campaign, shuffle the tarot deck and reveal one card for each scenario in the campaign, ignoring the side stories and counting scenarios with multiple parts as the separate scenarios, which this would count. Place each card on a horizontal line in the upright position. Each of those cards apply to one scenario in the campaign, with the leftmost concerned to the first scenario and the rightmost the final. Then choose and reverse half the cards. So I can't place each. Okay, so we can't like move them around. The leftmost cards are the first scenario, and the rightmost is the final scenario. Then choose and reverse half the cards rounded up. This reading is ideal if you want to have a long-term consequence versus you plan ahead. Okay, so there's 8 scenarios here, and we are going to go ahead and do it now. And then 4 of those are going to be upright, and 4 of those are going to be the downright position, which we can choose. First one, the moon. Second one, strength. Third one, the world. Fourth one, the high priestess. Second one, the star. Fourth one, chariot. Fifth one, wait, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, and the last one. The lovers. Okay, so let's see which one of these do. The lovers, I know. When your game begins, each ally searches deck for ally asset, adds it to their hand, and shuffles their deck. The bad version is it removes it from the game, so we don't want to get rid of that. Possibly. We just lose one ally. Doesn't mean we lose all the allies. Will test gets +1. That might be actually helpful. 2 additional cards at hand. 2 fewer cards and cannot draw cards on their first turn. Oof. So the star wasn't so bad. So yeah, let's reverse the star. So we have one reverse. High Priestess. I may want to keep that up because that affects our investigation. Each investigator not defeated may remove 1 trauma of their choice. Each investigator defeated during this game suffers 1 trauma. We just don't want to be defeated. We don't want to be defeated here. When the game begins, each investigator may play an asset from their hand at -2 cost. That's going to be really good. And the moon for the first one. When the beginning begins, each discards the top 5 cards of their deck. Oh god, we don't want to do that. See. Alright. So we have 1 negative. Two negative. Just don't get defeated. This one might not be so bad. Do want to keep these just in case we need them. So one that I definitely want is this one. This one. And I can pick 2 more. That's gonna suck. During the first test, each investigator performs each round. Huh. So let's go ahead and flip the lovers for the last one, because I don't think that's going to be as bad. I think we got to go with the chariot, because I don't want willpower is going to suck, and investigation. Though investigation may not be so bad it might hurt us in the long run. Alright, so Chariot. 2 additional cards. Let's lose that. Definitely don't want that. Yeah, I think we're gonna do it like this. Alright. So let's go ahead, grab these all out. Put this right here so we know what's. Alright. So I'll actually grab the characters and set it all up, and I'll see you next time. Bye.